Hello and welcome to Recovery for Life. I'm Chris Howard, your counselor at Midtown Health Wellness in New York City, and host of this weekly podcast where we discuss addiction and recovery and anything else that comes to mind. Here, of course, meaning equal, meaning we're all on a level playing field, which means I'm in recovery myself. As of this past January, I've got 10 years clean and sober. I should note that it took me 18 years to get here. Relapse isn't required, but certainly isn't uncommon. Before we get going, it's important to mention that I am not a doctor and we are not here to dispense medical advice. We also don't advocate any particular course of treatment. Please speak with your physician regarding issues related to your specific medication or treatment plan. If you don't have a program and would like to discuss options, you can find Midtown Health and Wellness and Indigo Recovery at nyc-doctor.com. The series of podcasts is essentially our group discussions on tape. The three others joining me are all part of the Suboxone program at Midtown Health. So one of our recurring topics will be everyone's personal feelings about medication-assisted recovery. The focus will not be so much on our past, our addictions, but how we're navigating our individual paths towards physical and emotional health. Putting down the substance is the first part. What happens next is recovery. I'm going to virtually pass the mic now and give everyone a few minutes to check in, and then we will dive into tonight's topic. So how about Amy? You want to check in first?
Hey everybody. Of course, I'm Amy, and I've been going to Midtown for about, 3 years now. And best place I've found so far. It's my 49th birthday tomorrow, so raha. And yeah, just been swimming, and yeah, pretty much. I'm good.
That's good. Happy birthday in advance.
Thank you.
John, you're up.
Hello, this is John. Just checking in here. I'm doing all right. I just recovering from a high-grade fever. I was not well this weekend for whatever reason. But yeah, I'm feeling a lot better today, and I'm glad I can make the podcast. Good news, I got my last Suboxone shot on Wednesday. 24 straight months of receiving Suboxone, and I am so proud of myself for making it, and I am very grateful for the opportunity it has given me to work on my mental well-being and just myself and every aspect of my life, really, over the past 2 years. I don't think there's no way I could have done it without it. It's been life-saving for me. So yeah, I'm really, really grateful for that. And outside of that, I mean, I'm doing pretty good. And I'm glad to be here on the podcast. I'm glad I can make it.
I need to make it too, since you're feeling better. Hey, Audrey, you're up.
Hello, checking in. I might have kind of a long check-in because I was thinking about a lot of stuff before this meeting, but
Take your time.
Alrighty. That sounded sarcastic. I always sound so blunt, but I don't mean it sarcastically. But anyway, yeah, checking in. I don't know. I feel I've been trying to fight like this little depression wave coming through these past few days. I think it's like a hormonal thing that, happens all the time. But I kind of notice that feeling and try and just distract myself, or at least know that it's happening and it's for a reason, and not just because, like, when I can't find a reason to something, sometimes I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? So yeah, but overall, generally just feeling like I'm just floating around. Like, I am excited about a few things, like this new job I'm applying for. So hopefully that works out. It's looking like it's gonna work out so far, but not official yet. So we'll see. But other than that, I've been feeling, I guess for a while, I guess kind of like lonely and like a single sense, like not in a relationship, but also like friends, because I don't have a lot of friends around here. All my friends are in New York City and Philly. My sister's in Philly. My family's away. I live with my parents in a place where people go to have families and raise their children. And like, it's just families and older people. So not much to do around here. And I'm not a fan of the bar that's 30 minutes away from my house. So I don't even drink. But yeah, I just feel like I've been floating around and kind of like just lonely, a little unmotivated, and just like blah. So that's my check-in. That's it.
That wasn't that long.
Okay.
That's good.
And I can sure feel the loneliness too. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Very lonely.
Yeah,
I got
not fun.
right here alone too. Yeah, it's not fun. Yeah, I got the same thing going on, I think. But other than that, I'm well. I'm doing okay. Life has been pretty good. I have nothing to complain about. I have no desire to complain, although I probably could, but I won't. I think everything is just fine, which is a loaded word. Fine is a loaded word, but actually it really is fine. Everything is cool. So that is it. So we were talking earlier about self-esteem and self-worth and how the way others view us affects that, and building that back in sobriety. And also, as John mentioned, how our perception changes as we get sober and get more time behind us. So I think that I am going to let Audrey start because you kind of brought up the topic, or you and Amy did. And why don't you jump in first, and then we'll see where we go with this thing.
All right. Yeah, sure. So let's see. I feel like for most of my life, I had pretty low self-esteem, and then like body image issues, crying because I hated the way that I looked, and also like weight wise, but also just like social anxiety. And I've gone over this before, but not feeling really comfortable talking to anyone else but my family, and also not even really feeling comfortable talking about anything personal to my family, like screaming that I don't want to go to therapy when my mom wanted me to go to therapy. And angsty teenager things. I was definitely an angsty teen, but I think when I started using, and I bet a lot of people can relate to this, it kind of felt just like I'm putting on a mask, like gave me the self-confidence and the self-worth, and feeling very euphoric, and like no negative thoughts really, but they were always like in the back of my head. And especially coming down from highs, everything was worse. So then once you take that mask off and have to get into recovery when you're not high all the time and just trying to fake your way through things, you definitely have to build up, or at least like go back to where you started before you started using mentally, and try and navigate through some of those feelings of self-doubt and low self-worth. Also, for me, to get a little personal, like I had a relationship at high school for like 2 years, fell like madly in love with this person, and then they broke up with me, and I got really, really upset, and then started dating again after high school for like 2 years, and broke up with that person, and then dated someone else for 2 years, and now I've been single for like since maybe 2018, I want to say, and it's just been getting, I don't know, a little like lonely in the fact that I don't have a significant other, but also all of my friends are away from me. So I just think we're social beings, and having a lack of like diversity in your social life is not great for your self-worth either, because I think it's totally fine to look for external validation. And I know people say, especially here, like, you got to love yourself first, but it's totally okay to like look for external love, and also work on yourself while you're with another person or with friends, and have other people lift you up. So I think maybe that's just where I'm lacking, is like the friend aspect. And honestly, I'm in a really small town. live basically in the woods. So I really don't know how to make new connections out here. But I'm hoping to make some changes to my location soon. So we'll see if that changes anything. I guess one thing that did help today when I was feeling lonely was like talking to my sister on the phone for about 2.5 hours while we just did our stuff around the house. But yeah, I think that's the gist of what I think.
I don't think anyone ever said that we have to be hermits to work on ourselves, right? Seriously, I think you can do both. I think you should, right? It makes a lot of sense that you're feeling that way. I get it. Amy, you want to chime in on this too?
Well, I can really relate to all that. Yeah, I'm very social and I need that in my life. Like I need people, I need friends, it's a need I have. Now, some people don't, they're fine. They're like, introverted, but I'm very extroverted. And, that's just something I don't have right now. And I miss it. I do. And, in recovery, at first, you're kind of focusing on yourself, just like as teenagers do, they're just selfish, thinking about themselves. Well, in recovery, you got to get yourself together. But then there comes a time when you need that extra uplift, like you said, like Audrey said, from other people, and then also you got the people that disagree with how you're doing recovery and don't understand, why you need medically assisted, to help you through it. And it's just a rocky road for me. It's rocky. And then it hurts your self-worth because you've, spent all this time working on yourself and trying to show others and trying to build up that trust, that faith in you again, all to be shattered with one sentence. And I just think people should stop and think for about 5 seconds before they speak. Because people can shatter you with words. I mean, they say words don't hurt, but they do. And, yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Like just fighting that I guess you'd say trust with someone or something, because like say you just, I don't know, stay up late one night and that's unusual, but you took a bath, did self-care, blah, blah, blah. Like, what, are you on another drug? Are you on another prescription? Are you, and then you're sitting on the porch and someone rolls up and brings you a candle that you bought from Facebook. And, oh, was that a drug deal but you know what I'm saying? It kind of weighs you back down. Like, I've spent so much time, trying to change and stuff. So.
No, you're right. Trust is part of that too. I think when people start to trust us again, then our self-worth starts to come back too. Yeah.
But when does that trust,
be nice to be able to put a number on that. It takes this amount of time, but I think it's different for everybody, and who knows that it's different for each relationship.
True.
I don't know. Yeah, that's something I talk to people about all the time, is when does that trust come back? And yeah, that's a tough one. It really is. And, of course we want to be validated with others. We want somebody, our partner or whoever it is, family member, say, you're doing great. You're doing a great job, instead of saying, well, who was that? Instead of being suspicious, right? I agree with you. I think you're right. That's really difficult.
It really is.
And we're totally relying on ourselves to build ourselves back up. And I don't think we can do that. It's not a solo act.
Nope.
Nobody can do this alone. We need the support of others. That's why we do this. That's why we have groups, and that's why we have counseling, and that's why we have all these things. But it's none of those things are the same as having our family member or our partner trust us. It's just not the same. And that takes a lot longer. Because we're here. I mean, we're here. We know you. We're going to trust you, of course. But earning back that trust from others, that's tough stuff. And it takes, well, I don't know. Like I said, I wish I could say, okay, it's 4 years. It's 8 years. It's 3
Right.
since
Right.
I just can't. I just wish I could. How about it, John? What do you think?
What are my thoughts on perception or
Any of the above? Perception, self-worth, trust.
my thoughts on all those?
Eggplant parmesan.
I'm sorry. I'm just absolutely drained from this fever. Let me do my best here. I'll start with self-worth. When I went to rehab, second, third time or whatever it was in 2019? No. Yeah, 2019. I went to rehab in 2019 after 2 overdoses and liquidated all my materialistic things like my home, my job, my 401k, everything was gone. And I really wanted to just focus on myself and healing. And I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know how to do any of it. I just knew that I was in over my head, and whatever I had tried previously over the past 16 years didn't work, and I needed help, and went back to rehab at the lowest point in my life. And I was and I would say at the most vulnerable point in my life too. It was particularly tough, but I happened to meet somebody there that was in a similar situation, like-minded, very smart, intellectual. Ended up developing a relationship with this person, and she's now my wife. But going into rehab, I didn't think that I would meet somebody. It wasn't even a thought in my mind, right? Like, I just wanted to get better. And when I got in there, I got into Detox first, and I don't know, fate or life just works in mysterious ways. It really does. So I was in Detox, and the medical director came up to me. He's like, Sublocade's out. You want to get on it? I was like, sure, sign me up, as long as my insurance covers it. They're like, all right, well, we'll run your benefits and check. And it came back that I can get it. I think it was my 7th day in Detox. I had like 2 more before I got transferred to residential. And my now wife had got in the night before. I was out in the smoking booth or lounge or whatever, and I saw her, waddle out. She was still inebriated from the night before, or not all there, or hungover or whatever. And I saw her. She had a seizure and hit her head on the side of the table and cracked her temple. And I ran over. I threw my cigarette. And I ran over. The nurses jumped over the counter, and I was like, they were just going to leave her head on the ground. I'm like, I'm going to go get my pillow if that's okay. And like, I ran and grabbed my pillow, and they put it under her head until the paramedics could arrive. And that was that. I went down to residential, and 7 days later, she comes in, and I'm like, oh, wow, she's okay. Great. And we just started talking during meeting. Not really. I mean, actually, we were just telling our stories during meetings, and kind of clicked, and that relationship continued. But point being is, like, I never thought that would even happen to me, right? Like, I never thought I thought I was going to be alone the rest of my life, and I was content with that. And for us to be at our lowest points in our life and to meet each other, I mean, it's not a coincidence, I don't think. So yeah, I'm very grateful that it worked out the way it did. But when I got out, I admitted myself to a sober house, and I kind of was taking my sobriety very seriously, and but I also was really I really wanted to be with my girlfriend at the time. So a month after I think I stayed there a month, and then I discharged, and I moved in to Brooklyn. Because it was either that or going to my parents' house, and there was no way I was going back to my parents. I just couldn't, right? Like I couldn't go back to my parents because it was just, there was no trust there. There was nothing there. It would have been a recipe for relapse. And I had acknowledged that. And, I'm happy I did move out here, with my wife now. And anyway, it's just interesting, really, because, as life goes on, what ended up happening was, I kept going up to this place where so I wanted to continue receiving the Suboxone shot, but it was very far upstate Connecticut. And I was like, this, and I'm in the city. I was like, this isn't really working out. So I ended up transferring my services to, they helped me transfer my services to Midtown Health and Wellness. And I'm so glad they did. I'm so glad they found this place for me. And, I met with Dr. Saltzman, and, they said, yeah, we can administer your Suboxone shot, and we can take care of your PTSD, we'll talk about your PTSD, depression, anxiety, and all this. And at the time I was like, man, this is a lot. This is overwhelming. Am I going to be able to do it? I didn't have a job. I didn't have anything really besides my girlfriend, and that was really it. So through persistence and determination, strong determination, to stay sober and alive, I managed to work, put in the work, right? I showed up for myself. I signed up for every group that I could, that Midtown Health and Wellness offered me. And,
excuse me.
yeah.
How long again were you addicted?
Yeah, I was an addict for over 15 years.
So that's just bomb to me. Sorry, go ahead. That's just bomb.
Yeah.
That you were that you didn't slip again. It was like your girlfriend. I think God put her there that's my belief, that y'all could help each other.
Yeah.
It's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you both understood.
There's a part of me that she's my best friend. She's my world. She's my everything. But, there is a part of me that's like, I am a bit introverted, right? I'm a nerd. I'm complete, not a nerd, but there is a part of me that misses, having a friend outside of my wife to talk to, and, I can rely on talking to my connections here at Midtown Health and Wellness, but, there's a difference between that and intimate friendship with somebody, And, I'm in New York City, Audrey. I don't have a friend that I can name. I don't. So you could be in the middle of the woods. You could be in one of the largest cities in the world.
Timbuktu.
Yeah, you could still be alone.
Yeah, that's true. I was also thinking that, like, when I had those thoughts, like, well, maybe if I move, things will get better. And like, statistically speaking, I do have more friends there, but like basically all of them. I do have like a few friends up here, but a lot of my friends are in the city. I would see them a lot more, but yeah, it's true. Like, it doesn't really matter where you are. You still have to, like, I don't know.
You have to reach out.
Yeah. Make the effort, I guess. Yeah.
So I recently signed up for this tutoring for this exam that I failed. And the person tutoring me is my age. He's super smart, and we connect like on like a level that I would see myself being this person's friend. And, I don't know. Like I said, I feel like the world works in mysterious ways. in time, the things that you desire, as long as you put in the work and the action and you have that hope and desire, and you don't lose the faith, right? I wake up every day grateful that I'm waking up alive, right? Like, and I don't know. I just, through that persistence, I feel like it's the word, kind of like materializes, right? These things materialize over time. It may not happen to everybody. I mean, it's subjective, obviously, but I think that, my views on what people think of me have definitely changed. I want to be, I know what I want to be, right? I know what I want to be and I want to do. And I think having goals is fine, but they should definitely be very small and obtainable. And I don't know, just getting through the day, for instance, or the hour or whatever it is, right? Like, I mean, like, just kind of on that meta level, right? And I mean, it's good to aspire for things, right? I want to learn new things and this and that, but grow my career, eventually start a family, whatever. Those are goals or whatever and things to strive for, but it's not something I'm going to be doing overnight. And knowing that, it's before, if I was an active addiction, it would be completely jamming my frequencies in the brain. Like, I don't even know if a thought would fire, but like, I don't know. Like, I just look at things completely differently now. And I don't know. I just try to live life the best way I know I can. And
that's about all you can do.
And that's all I can do, right?
Put out good, and I think good will come back to you.
Yeah.
That's what I believe.
Yeah, I'm a strong believer in karma, for sure. What you put out, is what you're going to get back. But yeah, I mean, anyway, I have a job now, and I'm doing what I love. There was a point in time where that wasn't even the case. I rewind a year and a half when I was first looking for a job, or maybe it's been longer than that now. I don't know. But anyway, I was doing this mediocre job where I just felt like I was just like wasting my time, or I don't know. I just felt like I could be doing more. And I started looking for a job. I went through hundreds of interviews, and finally I found something, and it was exactly what I wanted. And I'm doing that now. And I even now, I want to continue to grow. I want to continue to be a better person every day. And, in doing that, it actually, mended, or helped mend this trust issue with my family, because part of my program is, having somebody other than me reach out to my family and let them know that I'm all right. I voluntarily admit to a urinalysis monthly, and I make sure that is communicated to my parents via Midtown Health Wellness. And I mean, and also once that started, I felt a bit more comfortable reaching out, and I would reach out once a month, and then it was like maybe twice a week, and now it's, a couple times a week. And which is really cool. And, they got to see me get married. I didn't think they'd ever see that. I was lying on the floor dead in their house like a couple of years
Ironic.
ago. So yeah, I mean, it's life is a journey. It's an experience. And I think that if you get bogged down in the nitty gritty, you're never going to be able to live life to the fullest and to what you want it to be. Or, I can't let, just because I don't have any friends, let that stop me from doing what I want to do. I want to be able to create happy memories and live a happy, sober life. How do I do that? Right. Like,
right. Like I'd like to get out there. I stay at home now since I've just used before.
Yeah.
I was at church. I was here, there. I don't know. Now I don't know. It's hard to take that step.
It is, but don't get me wrong. It's nice to get the third party validation. Once my parents told me I don't even know, like when the last time they told me they were proud of me, when they told me they were proud of me, I started crying, like that was like huge. So yeah, I mean, I think time takes time, and with the will, desire, and courage to do it, I think you're able to critically think and perceive things in a way where it doesn't negatively impact your life, and you don't let the toxicity. Like, I mean, we live in a very toxic world these days. And you're either black pilled or you're white pilled or whatever's going on. I try to just stay focused on what is important for me to stay alive and sober today. Those are all distractions at the end of the day for me, and, as long as I know I'm doing a good job, with my sobriety and taking care of myself, I can do a good job at work. I can be a good husband. I could be a good son. That kind of all melds together and forms life, right? And I kind of go from there, right? And I just try to be a good person. What I think is a good person. How would I want to treat somebody, right? And don't get me wrong, I have my ups and downs. Life's not perfect, but
everyone has issues.
Yeah, exactly.
And flaws.
It's sure better than it was and when I was using. So yeah.
Amen. Amen.
But anyway, I've been talking a lot. Sorry.
I'm gonna throw a couple things out there now that talked about a few things here. A few things have come up, and I can't help. You can hate me for this, but I can't help bringing up the fact that these 12-step meetings and church are wonderful places to meet people. They really are. They're great places to make friends who get us. You're sticking her tongue out at me. Every friend that I have now, and I don't have a ton of them, but everyone that I consider a friend right now, I've met in a 12-step meeting. And the reason for that is because they completely understand who I am, understand who they are. And we don't have to talk about recovery. And actually, we almost never do. We talk about the movies or whatever, or dating or whatever we happen to be doing. And it's just knowing that they feel the same way I do, that we have that unspoken communication.
And knowing you have each other.
And knowing that we have each other whenever we need. They know that if they need me, I'm going to answer the phone. I mean, a guy called me the other day. I bet I haven't talked to him 3 years.
Wow.
And it happened to be my birthday. It was about a month ago. But and he called me and went, "Yo, you still have this number?" And we talked for a little while. And he was one of the first people I met in sobriety. So I've known him for almost 11 years.
Oh, that's wicked.
And we had a great conversation. And, he's a really great guy. And I have a few people like that in my life that, we really care about each other. He heard my first qualification, which was an absolute mess. But he was good to me. So, I mean, that's one thing. And I just think that, there are people out there. We can get out in the world. I'm an introvert too, man. When I first went to meetings, I didn't talk to anybody for a couple of years. It took me a long time to start opening up and because I had no self-esteem and self-worth. I thought, why would anybody want to talk to me? I don't know anything. I'm a loser. I mean, look at where I am. I'm in a friggin' AA meeting. I must be a loser. And that really, of course, is not the case. And it never was, but that was how I saw myself. And I had an interesting experience about a week ago, and I was obligated to take this personality test, and I'm not going to get into details of it, but it's a pretty extensive test. And then you go back and you look into, all different types of your personality. And the interesting thing that I discovered was that I really haven't changed much in the last 10 years. I was kind of shocked to see, oh man, I really haven't made much progress, have I? But that's the core being of who I am is what I've been working on. And that takes a long time to change and to grow. So it was a little bit disappointing, I can say, but it goes back to that same thing where Audrey started about, I always used the drugs and alcohol as a mask to hide myself.
Yep.
Because I didn't think I had any value. And that comes from, I'm sorry, but from childhood.
Yep.
And that's just the way it is. There's nothing I can do. I didn't create that personality. I didn't create that persona. That was how I was brought up, and that's what I knew. And so that's what I took with me into life. And, and I found people who contributed to that, because that's what we do. That's what I did. I found people who, it's not that I wanted to be treated poorly. It's just, that's what was familiar, and that's what I gravitated to.
Boom.
And so, and that's where I wound up. And I get that. And when I got into recovery, that's where I was. I was at, we don't get into recovery on a high note, right? So I was at the very low point. And I'm like, John, you said you had sold everything. I had just lost everything. I mean, I hadn't sold it. It was just taken.
That was me.
I could no longer sustain the existence that I'd created. I never really could. It was all mirrors, the whole time. But eventually it crashed and burned, and everything went away. And that was the best thing that could have happened to me, because I got to start from zero. Well, at least 6 years into recovery, I got to start from zero.
It's such a good way to look at it, though.
It is. I was in negative numbers, and I was able to crawl to zero, and zero was a beautiful place to be, because it meant that I didn't have anything, but I also didn't have any debt. And I was able to just start from nothing. And that was a great place to be. It really was. I didn't know that. You couldn't have convinced me of that when I got into recovery, that, being at zero was going to be a wonderful place to be, but it absolutely was. I couldn't have asked for more than that.
I totally agree with that, Chris. I mean, what started the entire thing was me totaling my car. And then, I was in the ICU and got let out and had another overdose. So yeah, I mean, at that point, I'm like, what are these things that, what's my house? What's my job? What does this stuff mean to me if I can't even stay alive? Right. So like, I had to start over, and you're right. Starting at zero was better than whatever it was, like wherever I was at, it meant nothing. I mean, the condo meant nothing. I just wanted to stay alive. Right.
Right.
I didn't know how to do that. I just needed, I needed professional help. And,
now look at you. Such an inspiration.
Thank you.
You are, really.
I appreciate that, Amy. I do. I appreciate the kind words. It's just, I think that, without those experiences, I don't think I like Chris said, it would have been very hard to change my mind otherwise. Right. Like, I thought I needed that job. I thought I needed that condo, but then you start losing your life, and I mean,
you don't need shit. Not materialistically.
Yeah. I mean, what is that?
What is that if you're not there, if you're not there with it to drive the car and live in the car?
That's the dream, right? And I know for me, I was living someone else's dream. I wasn't living mine. But I want to get back to what Audrey started out with too, because like you said, Audrey, the issues that were there before the addiction started, those are the ones that we have to address when we get into recovery. I do believe, certainly, at least partially, that, and I've heard this a lot, the addiction is a symptom of our underlying issues. And, we need to, once we get rid of the substances, then we really have to start working on all of that. That's what John was talking about too. Is that once all that goes away, then we have to really take a good look at, who we are and how did we get here and what would we like to be? And how do we build that self-esteem back? And, what kind of life do we want to have? And, when we're in recovery, when we get sober, we have choices. When we're actively addicted, we don't have any choices. Our choices are eliminated. And once we get into recovery, we have this whole world opens up. And that's pretty scary too.
Yeah.
Okay, now what do I do? Now, who am I? I've been hiding behind this stuff for years. And now I have to actually figure out who the hell I am. And, for me, that happened much later in life because
Me too.
I used for 40 years. And, when I got clean at 52, I was like the oldest living teenager, I think, because I had no idea how to go about my life. I had no idea who I was or what I wanted or what I should do, how I wanted to live my life, how to be in a relationship. I was married for 25 years. I still don't know how to be in a relationship. That one didn't work. I can tell you that. That was not a relationship. It was whatever it was. It was something.
I think I'm still learning that also. Just how to be in any kind of relationship.
It's tough. It's tough figuring out who we are. I mean, I think, John, you're very fortunate right now that you've, found, yourself in a place where you're in a good relationship. But like you said too, I mean, you need something else still. It's great and that's wonderful, but you still need someone that you're intimate with on the outside that you can really say these things to. Right? Because there's things, I don't care how close I am to my partner. There's some stuff I am not going to say to her.
Thank you.
It's just not going to happen.
Take it to my grave.
Yeah. Or to,
to
someone we meet in the rooms who, they're not going to talk about it. And know that you can say anything you want and they're going to do that too.
Isn't that wild though? We meet the best people in the rooms.
Well, I was about to say the same thing. I mean, fortunately for me, I mean, I have the groups in this podcast where I can come to meet great people. Very smart, just genuine, great people. I think that is absolutely amazing. Like-minded people. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, we're human, and I think part of being a human is to socialize and to
needing that. Yeah.
Right. I mean, so yeah, I mean, it's nice that I have a wonderful wife and all that, but at the end of the day, I still need some other, like Chris said, third party.
Just a vent, maybe, or just like Audrey.
I feel like you need to also learn in recovery how to seek friends, romantic relationships, towards people who are emotionally available and ready or willing to listen and, not seeking out, again, I think Chris said toxic relationships, toxic people, because I guess when you're using, you're just addicted to those highs and those lows. So, you get used to seeking out people that maybe aren't so good for you, or even not even there for you in any way. So, I guess self-worth comes along with seeking people that are available to help you.
Yeah. It was cool. When, actually going through this whole thing and up into my marriage, I mean, my wife and I mean, we literally had to learn how to have a relationship between each other. I mean, we're talking about two alcoholic addicts coming together and trying to learn how to live together and love each other and thrive and grow. I mean, it was, I mean, I happen
it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it was a beautiful thing, but it was just meant to be. I mean, that's how I look at it, but it's definitely tough, for sure.
Well, one of the other things that we all have to learn when we get into recovery is actually how to express to others what we really do need, honestly. And that's something we never, ever do when we're in our addiction, or probably, one of those things that gets programmed early on is that, if your needs don't matter and they're not met, then that's how we go about our lives. And we don't know how to express that to our partners or whoever
we wind
up in relationships with. And, I think that's something that we do learn in these rooms of recovery where we have other people going through that same thing and trying to sort out those same issues. Yeah. How do I express myself? How do I sort out, first of all, what my needs are? And then how do I express them to another human being? That's a tough one.
It really is.
That's a really tough one.
Especially when you meet someone that doesn't know anything about addiction and recovery.
Even more difficult because they'll never even understand.
But I've read so much about it. Yeah, well, I lived it.
Right. Yeah. Reading about it and living it are two very, very different things. They really are. It's like any life experience. You can read all you want about psychology and anything like that, but actually living the experience and talking about it is a very, very different animal. And that's, getting back to the self-worth and the self-esteem. Once we learn that to express ourselves and actually feel good about who we are and say, yes, I'm deserving too. I matter too. I'm important too. And, we can express our needs in that way. That's really, really hard for some of us, and myself included, really difficult for me.
Because we feel like we don't deserve it.
We feel like we don't.
A lot of us, yeah.
Yeah, in life, in partnerships, in business, pick something. It's like, asking for a raise. Right,
yeah.
They're just going to fire me, right? I don't deserve it. It's just, if I ask for more, then, they're just going to say no. And they're just going to get rid of me. And that's, we carry that with us. It takes a really, really long time to plow through all that stuff. And it's not, I was actually having this conversation just the other day. It's not about working through it. It's about accepting and surrendering and learning that we're powerless over those things. Like the very first step in the 12-step program is the powerlessness. And there are layers of that. And so when we can be powerless over those feelings, and that's okay, because we can use them, as it says in the book, as a foundation to build on. And that's not a bad place to start either. That's like that 0 where we go, okay, I'm going to accept that this is me. Okay, it's fine. This is going to be part of my personality. I'm tired of battling it. I don't need to go to war with myself every day of the week. Let me accept that, surrender to it, and get on with my life. Yeah, that's a tough one too.
Tough, yeah.
It is tough. I mean, for me, I just, after those overdoses, I was like, wherever life's going to take me, it's going to take me. I've been through so much crap at this point. Whatever life is going to throw at me, coming ahead, it can't be worse than what I've been through already.
Right.
Right. So, that's kind of how I look at it. But, I guess it depends on what we've been through, right? It's definitely subjective per person. But, I think that we all have it in us. And at the end of the day, I think if you want to make the right choice, you're going to do it.
That's now right there. Choices. I really want to discuss that.
Go for it.
I think, some of us think you're on this timeline, and you got to do this by this time and this by this age and this and this and that. And so in addiction, just say you don't make the best choices and right into recovery. I think people should slow down, but then like John, it seems like he met somebody with head first. It was great. It worked out. But then what if it doesn't? And then you've made this choice and you've done this thing and this big thing. And then I feel like I still make bad choices. And I don't know when that'll ever get better or change.
Because this is where that acceptance comes in. No matter what happens, we have to accept that we made a decision, and that's whatever it is, it's okay. And we're going to get on to the next. It's not always going to be a good one. I make decisions all the time.
Like the bad choices, sometimes a lot of things are more out of control than we realize, out of our control than we realize, out of our power. I don't know. We might make a choice because we we genuinely think that it's the right thing to do and all the signs are pointing to yes, but then like someone else can do something that you didn't think was going to happen. So it's not necessarily
right. And you also have
bad
to
choice.
remember that whatever choice we're making, we're doing that with the knowledge we have in that moment.
Right.
Right. I might make a different choice tomorrow than I do today at the same juncture because I have different knowledge tomorrow. I'm in a different place tomorrow. So
Yeah.
I have to accept that whatever choice I'm making, that's with just what I know right now.
That's exactly what I was trying to say. Like, you don't have any information of what is going to happen next based on your choice that you're making. So you're trying to do the right thing. So
Yeah, life is definitely not like a black and white thing, right? Not all the time. So you're gonna go in with the best of your knowledge with, this feels right, okay. But if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. You have to part ways with whoever you're with and just keep on moving. Gotta keep on moving through life as hard as it is.
It won't stop for anybody, will it?
Yeah. And it really is about that. We're dragging along all of our history and our knowledge, and that's what we bring into each one of these decisions right up until this very moment. Like we're having this conversation, and as we've had this conversation, I've learned more today. So now I have more knowledge
Right.
than I had an hour ago, and it might change the next decision I make. It probably will. It probably will, because every one of these conversations starts the wheels turning and I get a little bit more knowledge and I think, okay, maybe next time I'll think a little bit longer and I'll choose maybe differently. And I don't know. It may not be more wisely, but it'll be differently. I don't know. It's a total crapshoot.
Yep.
But we just do the best we can. And we make that decision in that moment. That's it. And then it's gone. Say goodbye.
Yep.
It's history. And that's the only way to treat it. So I don't know. I think are we closing in on an hour? I think that we are.
Yeah, we are.
We are. So let's do our lightning gratitude round because this has been really interesting. This whole conversation. I'm glad ladies brought up the subject and we got rolling on it and it really turned into all kinds of things. And, it always does, of course. You never know where these are going to go. And it's always good though. It's always informative. And I have new information now that I can take with me into my next decision. Or into my next conversation. Anyway, so let's see. Amy, you're having a rough ride. How about you go first?
Why not?
Gratitude.
I'm definitely grateful for y'all. You're all an inspiration to me. I'm very proud of y'all. Audrey, I want you to know I'm always here. I'm lonesome also. Just know that. And John, like I said, you're an inspiration, and I'm just grateful for y'all today. Very grateful.
Thanks, Amy. John?
Yeah. Amy, I'm here for you too. Same for you, Audrey. Grateful to be part of this group and to be part of this community. Means a lot to me. It really does. It means the world to me to be part of this podcasting group. And I'm grateful to be here, present, sober. I'm just grateful to be here and alive and sober today. I really am. I'm grateful for my wife. I'm grateful that I got through the sickness. I'm grateful that I was able to go 24 months straight sober. It's unfathomable to me, but here I am. So yeah, there's a lot to be grateful for, and I want to just continue bringing that positive energy and gratitude with me wherever I go. And hopefully it helps somebody.
Thank you, Audrey. You are up.
Yeah, I'm so grateful for everyone, Chris, Amy, and John. Amy, I was literally about to reach out to you today to do makeup, but I knew that would take like 2 hours, and I was actually cleaning my room for the first time in 3 years. It was It was disgusting.
I'm
So
always down with it. We
I
can
cleaned
clean.
it.
We can
I
do
cleaned-
makeup.
Yeah, I cleaned it. I didn't want to get distracted. I actually did it. I've been telling
That's
Chris, and
awesome.
so I'm grateful for that. Like I've been telling Chris the past like 3 sessions. Oh my God, I need to clean it. I didn't do it until today. So yeah, grateful for everyone and the insights always, and for our conversations. Grateful for that we all understand each other, and yeah, it's just great. Great to be grateful.
Yes, definitely. Did I
Grateful
say it? Did I say I was grateful for my wife? Did I right now?
Probably.
You always do.
Several times along the way, I'll bet you.
Yeah.
All right. I'm grateful for my wife as well. That's funny. Sure, I said it.
I am very grateful to all of you and everything that you contribute, and that we do have this community. We have this. We're all in different places, but our hearts are in the same place. And I really, can't say enough about all of you and everything that you bring to these, and what you're bringing to whoever out there, tunes into these things, which is getting to be more and more. We're getting there. So yeah, I'm grateful to be sober. I'm grateful to get up in the morning and and make coffee and not be sick and not have to worry about, not have to worry about who I'm going to be, because I know who I'm going to be when I get up, and that's something to really be grateful for. So anyway, that's our day. So thanks guys again for everything, man. Unbelievable as always.
Oh,
And thanks to our listeners for joining us, and anyone out there, if you have any thoughts you'd like to share about anything you heard today, you can definitely put it on YouTube, because it's on there. There's a place for comments, and probably other places too. Spotify, Audible, all those places. So send us a note and let us know what you think. We look forward to hearing from you. And thanks again, everybody. Another unbelievable hour. Grateful to all of you. And we'll do it again in a couple of weeks.